Howdy, howdy. My name's Tyler Cleese, owner of Developing Horsemanship, and today I will be talking about lateral flexions. As the rider, it's your responsibility to really hone in on two key factors when you're working at these lateral flexions. The first one being the manner in which you pick up on the rein, and the second one being the manner in which you release the rein. When picking up on a rein, the first thing you'll be doing is sliding down that side. Say it was the right side, you'll slide way down that right rein to get your hand in the correct position to be able to properly help the horse find the flexion. And in doing so, you'll be picking up on that right rein, and then make sure you're giving slack on the left side so that you're not pulling on the left side of the mouth as well. When your hand's in correct position on that right side on the rein, you'll go out to the side, kind of around and in by your hip, and a little bit forward with that hand. So that's your hand motion that you have to worry about. And then if you're in the correct position, your elbow will be directly on your side there, touching your ribs, and then your hand will be forward, and it should be about even with your saddle horn, maybe slightly forward. Good indicator if you're sliding down that rein far enough when working on these flexions is when you finish, you'll go out around and up and in there, and your elbow's at 90 degrees. If your hand's about parallel with your saddle horn, maybe even a little bit lower, you've done a good job. But if you didn't slide down far enough, you'll find your hand kind of floating up more towards your head, or maybe over the left side of the horse if you were working on your right flexion, and even possibly back by your hip pocket, your right side hip pocket. And if that's happening, you're probably just not sliding down that rein far enough to really get in the proper position you need. Because if you're not in the proper position with these lateral flexions, it's the same for your hindquarter movement. So, it may not affect your hindquarters too much, but later on when you go to open up for the front, it's going to affect your balance and your timing when you go to bring the horse's front quarters across. So it's pretty important to really focus in on these hand motions and really get those down, because it'll just help you exponentially down the road. A note on rein handling: if I'm working on my right flexion, instead of having to bend way over the front of my horse or just reach way down that rein, putting me in kind of a funny position and possibly even scaring the horse, what I'll do is have that coil in my left hand, and I'll kind of pick up on it like I was starting a lawnmower, obviously not with the same amount of force, but I'll smoothly pick up on that, and what that does is slides that right rein through my hand, allowing me to get nice and short and stay in position on top of my horse. And there's two releases in which you can give when working on these lateral flexions. Is you can give small releases to where whenever they come off the pressure, they get a little bit of a release, and then you may stay in there till you get a little deeper bend in there. Or you can give them a full release, meaning you can let them straighten back out. As you're working on these lateral flexions, you'll just be progressing them little by little if you've never worked at it before. So you might first start with a centimeter to the right if you're working on the right flexion, and then build on that an inch, couple inches, and then pretty soon you'll have 90 degrees, and then you can start working the finer points of the lateral flexion, which I'll be speaking in next video. But you always just offer as little as you can, and then if they resist, they're going into their own pressure, and then if they're just not paying attention, you may pick up just a little bit more firm on that rein till they come off of that, and then release.